You can see to the left, there's a plane that looks like coming in. There's a brighter light. And right there, you'll see that horrific fireball.
67 people have tragically died as the result of a mid-air collision between an American Airlines flight and a military Black Hawk helicopter. The mid-air collision happened right near Washington, D.C. at the Reagan National Airport, and it took place just as the American Airlines flight was moments away from landing. There are no survivors, and currently authorities are engaging in an effort to find the bodies of those who were on the flights. Now, a major commercial airline crash in the United States actually has not happened since 2009 when the collision occurred in Buffalo, New York. So this is not a common occurrence on US soil. Among those on the American Airlines flight were members of the US figure skating, several members of our skating community, according to a statement from US figure skating, were sadly aboard American Airlines flight 5242. These athletes, coaches, and family members were returning home from the National Development Camp held in conjunction with the US Figure Skating Championships in Wichita, Kansas. We are devastated by the unspeakable tragedy and hold the victims' families closely in our hearts. Russia also announced that 2 Russian figure skaters were also aboard that American Airlines flight, which was headed to Washington, D.C. It was supposed to land there, and it was traveling from Wichita, Kansas. Now, what is the government saying about this? What do we know so far? Well, newly appointed Secretary of Transportation Sam Duffy said the midair collision Wednesday night between a regional Sean Duffy, the mid-air collision Wednesday night between a regional American Airlines passenger jet and a Black Hawk military helicopter over the Potomac River near Washington, D.C. was absolutely preventable, which is an interesting thing to say because we don't know what went wrong yet. And I want to be clear about that. I mean, the investigation is ongoing. This crash happened on Wednesday night. So to say that it's absolutely preventable, maybe that's absolutely true, but we don't know what happened. I mean, maybe the pilot suffered some sort of medical emergency and it wasn't preventable. So we have to wait and see. I want to be clear about that. It was also a clear night, so weather can't be blamed for the collision. At the time of the crash, the water temperatures in the Potomac River was approximately 36 degrees Fahrenheit, which is part of the reason why, the authorities do not believe a single person survived as a result of this collision. Sean Duffy continues to say, obviously, it is not standard to have aircraft collide. I want to be clear on that. The flight paths that were being flown from the military and from American, that was not unusual for what happens in the DC airspace, meaning, those flight patterns are not unusual. And so he's kind of raising the question as to, if these aren't unusual flight patterns, what the hell happened here? This is preventable. That's where he's coming from. Now, the American Airlines flight came in from Wichita, Kansas, as I mentioned earlier, and was moments away from landing in Washington, D.C. American Airlines CEO stated that the captain of the flight had been flying for American Airlines regional carrier PSA Airlines for 6 years, and that the first officer on the flight had been with the airline for 2 years. Duffy said that the Black Hawk helicopter was on a training mission at the time of this crash, but he didn't really elaborate on that. And the helicopter was based in Virginia. So let's get to some of the recordings from the air traffic control. Those recordings have been released, and what you're about to hear are the statements or the moments from the air traffic control right before the crash happened. Take a listen.
Go around, climb, maintain 3,000. Black Check 3, can you return to base? Black Check 3, proceed directly to Glebe. I need you to land. I need you to land immediately. Can you go to Dulles for a few minutes? Can you go to Baltimore?
So from the recordings, or at least what we have heard from the released recordings so far, air traffic control was alert. They were trying to, give directions to the American Airlines flight. According to reporting, air traffic control is heard in the recording asking the crew of the military helicopter, which the controller referred to as Pat 25, if the American Airlines plane, which is identified as CRJ, was visible. 2 seconds later, ATC, that's air traffic control, provided instructions to the helicopter crew saying Pat 25 passed behind CRJ. 3 seconds later, the controller provides further instructions to the helicopter crew saying Pat 25 has aircraft in sight, maintain visual separation. So I give you that information because it's clear that air traffic control was alert, aware, paying attention to the situation based on what we know so far. When pressed by reporters for details about the communications between air traffic control and the helicopter, Sean Duffy said, I would say the helicopter was aware there was a plane in the area. Duffy said it remains under investigation why the helicopter continued to fly into the path of the passenger plane. Cenk.
Okay, so look, we've got a poll on this where we're asking you who's at fault here, Trump, FAA, or DEI. Now, Trump brought that up, and you're gonna be pretty surprised at what we found in regards to that. I was shocked by it, actually. So we'll get to that in a second. On what Anna said so far, there was an instructor pilot on the helicopter, so that made me go, interesting. But then apparently the person who was flying already had 500 hours of experience, so that doesn't seem like it was the issue. And then, in terms of Sean Duffy and the Trump administration saying that it was preventable and that they're angry about it. Now, guys, it's a tragedy. All those folks died. Everybody knows that. We all, hate that happened, and our thoughts go to all the families. Now, this is going to get into politics. So when you turn to the political way of looking at it, it's actually smart political strategy. Again, you can get upset about it, but I want to explain it to you so you understand why you see the things that you see. So when administrations like the Biden administration come out like with the East Palestine disaster and they seem defensive and they don't give quite clear right answers, Karen Bass here with the wildfires, etc., it makes people think that they're trying to hide something and look like they're at fault. The Trump team, again, it doesn't go to the facts. It doesn't go to who actually did it and who was actually responsible, but just as a matter of strategy. Where the Trump team comes out and goes, we're angry about it, and it was preventable, and they're going on the offense. So it makes it look like it was somebody else's fault, and they're pissed on behalf of the citizens about it, and they're gonna get to the bottom of it. Politically speaking, that is 1,000 times better way to handle it. By the way, it might not be a better way to handle it at all when it comes to the truth and the reality so that we can fix it so no more people die. That's a completely different issue. And there, again, we have some surprising news for you guys. Thanks for watching the Young Turks, we really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.